Hey everybody, it's Alvin Brown, CEO and founder of the Center for Healing and Peak Performance and Integrated Peak Performance Services. I'm also the author of Journey to Personal Greatness, Mind, Body, and Soul, a blueprint for life balance and self-mastery, available at all your major bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon.com.ca, and in Canada, chapters Indigo Online. Also, Journey to Personal Greatness, a nice little combination here. It's your greatness journal. You can have, anywhere you are, I want you to pick up a journal. When you're following me along here and you want me to be your virtual coach, I want you to follow along your journal. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up? What health do you want to be in? This is the place to track it in your journal. Right where you are now, I want you to write down where you are now, where you want to be, and what action steps you want to take on a daily basis to get to where you want to go. Whatever you want, you can have it. But you got to take focus and continuous action. And the way you can track it is in your journal. So journal is key on this journey. All right, so this is Wednesday, it is Hump Day Hustle, and it's time for short and sweet. This time we're going to talk about peak performance therapies. If it's your first time joining me, this is the way we're going to flow. Monday, I talk to you about how to get to your personal greatness from 3 planes: mind, body, and soul. So Monday, if you go back and check, Monday is Monday Mindset. I get a little checkup from the neck up. I give you information how to maintain a balance mentally and emotionally. Wednesdays, today, Hump Day Hustle, we talk about how you can achieve peak performance through nutrition, structural balance, and working out. What tips and strategies I can give you from my 2 decades in the health and wellness field, I can give you to help you get to that next level. And I'll be having guests coming on and so on in the future. Saturday is Soulful Saturday. We give you a little nurturing for the soul, a little food for the soul. I cook you up a little something and give that to you on Saturday. So that's how it flows, mind, body, and soul throughout the week. I want to hit you up with that. That's my goal for this whole year, is to hit you and then roll it out. And if it keeps rolling like famously, we'll keep rolling. All right. So here's the deal. This is Hump Day Hustle. We're going to talk about peak performance therapies. All through this few weeks, we've been talking about some therapies you may have heard. They're commonplace, some that are not. But we want to talk about them so you can add it to build your team. Today we're going to talk about this therapy, myofascial release. And we'll get into that. Number 1, the key points: what is fascia and what is myofascial release? And number 2, how can it apply to your peak performance program? And the action step I want to give you, always want to give you something to take away: build your team, as always. That's the number 1 action step after we're finished. So let's get started. All right, number 1, what is fascia? Fascia is this connective tissue in your body that is everywhere. Everywhere in your body this thing is, and they call it the endless web. And it's almost like if you were to wear a body stocking, cover the entire body, and you had a snag down by your foot, you would end up eventually feeling the snag coming up through your leg, into your groin, into your abdomen, long enough, and this pull is long enough you start to feel it. That's what fascia is like. Fascia is this strange tissue that can slowly and insidiously cause problems that we often overlook. And we get symptoms like a back pain or a neck pain, and we think it's the local area, but fascia is this kind of tissue where it can affect you from far-reaching areas. Again, go through that analogy that I gave you of the body stocking. It can be pulled. And also think about this. If you were to take that same body stocking and twist it, turn it and leave it alone, eventually your limb, if it was on your leg, and I twisted it and left it there, your limb would want to turn with the stocking. And those are those feelings that people often come with me and say, it almost feels like something's twisting and I can't seem to figure it out. Fascia. Start thinking about fascia, the connective tissue. And here's the deal with fascia. Remember I said it covers everything. They call it the endless web. Fascia covers your bone. The periosteum of the bone is fascia, because when your muscle moves from muscle to tendon into the bone, it's fascia that connects it. Fascia just gets thicker at different areas, and they call it different names. Ligaments is a fascia. Tendon is a fascia. Pericardium is covered by this fascia. Inside your abdominal area, it's covered by fascia. Some people who get abdominal surgery, women for instance, hysterectomies or whatever it is, they have to go back in and tear away the fascia because the fascia is reconnecting and causing havoc inside the abdominal area. So it's this living tissue that connects and it creeps and attaches itself to things. People with postural issues who sit at a desk for a long time or have bad posture, they find it hard later on to get out of that and to fix it, because the fascia it adapts to what stresses you put on it. And so this is why we have to think out of the box. This is why you have to think out of the box. And it's very difficult to, when people walk in and go, they often tell me, but I didn't do anything. If they have a chronic problem that's going on, I just woke up in the pain. No, you didn't just wake up on the pain. It's been coming. But fascia is a slow, the result of fascial issues are not overnight oftentimes. They're postural, they're habitual, and they sneak up on you. So fascia is this tissue that can really cause havoc if the person if you aren't adding that to your team, that little mix to your team. So your therapist, if they're not trained in fascia, then start looking around and adding that to your mix as well. Start calling around, looking for someone close by who does myofascial release, and add that to your team, and you'll have a whole unit. So how does it apply to peak performance? Well, just think about it. The more flexibility you have, structure governs function. So at the end of the day, the more flexibility you have and the more freedom you have. Remember, they say that we're 70% water, give or take, plus minus. We're 70% water. That fluid is what gives you flexibility. Because every time you injure yourself, there's inflammation. And with inflammation, there's heat. And with inflammation, there's scar tissue being formed. That scar tissue can restrict fascial movement and the freedom we have, the choreography that we need to move fluidly. So that's how it applies to peak performance. All right, so the action step to this, that's myofascial release. Check it out, look it up, Google it. You can see myo means muscle, fascia is a connective tissue, the two together, myofascial, they're a combination. So that's where you look that up for me. All right, so check it out. The action step, build your team. Look for someone who has this ability to apply this fascial release technique, and you got yourself a holistic team along with the other areas that I was suggested in the past. All right, so that's it. That's myofascial release, and that is your peak performance therapy for today. If you need any more information, connect with me, Google it, give us an email. We have a team of people around us can apply these techniques, and we build a blueprint especially for you, for your peak performance therapy. Connect with me, visit our website, tchbp.com, journeypersonalgreatness.com, and if we can help you, we're here to do that. All right, until next time, be relentless about your pursuit for personal greatness.